Hey guys, Dr. Gonzo here. First off, I want to apologize that we haven't put out an episode in a few weeks. Things have gotten kind of crazy in all of our lives, and we're also we kind of realized that with all the anniversary shows that we've done this year, that we've kind of burned ourselves out on ideas. So we're taking some time to kind of recharge our batteries and come up with ways to improve the show and make it even better for you guys. So we're not going anywhere. We're just kind of taking stock and thinking about ways that we can make ourselves even better. So that's that State of the Union. But what I really want to talk to you guys today is, of course, the big news today is the reveal of the Nintendo Switch. Nintendo finally put out a video showing off, I hesitate to call it a trailer because it's not really, a trailer in the traditional sense. They put out a video revealing showing off the Nintendo Switch and its ability to swap between a handheld console to a home console and the various ways and places that it can be used. Excuse me. I'm also coming down from a bit of a cold, so bear with me here. And I gotta say, I'm really kind of hooked on this. I admit I was really skeptical when Nintendo first announced that their next console was going to be a home console and handheld hybrid. I was kind of like, how's that really going to work? Are we talking kind of a like we did the Wii U here, and in a sense, that's kind of what they did. The console, the Nintendo Switch, it seems to be sort of an evolution of the Wii U gamepad, and I'm really interested to see what kind of things they do with this. So basically, for those of you who haven't seen the video, and if you haven't, I'll include a link beneath this feed here. Is basically the console itself is this device, maybe I want to say about the size of a small tablet or a Kindle, that has two controllers that you slot into the sides so that you can use it like a handheld console, and then it also comes with a dock that you put the console itself into, and then that dock feeds the picture from the console into the television if you decide to play at home. And apparently the two controller pieces, they just slide right out, and you can put them in another dock that you can use it as a home controller, or if you're playing a multiplayer game like say Mario Kart, one of the parts of the video was basically two people playing Mario Kart off of the same console, and they were each using one of the controller pieces, as sort of like mini NES controllers almost. Which is an interesting concept. I don't think I've ever seen. We've never seen anything like that before, and it certainly explains sort of the odd joystick placement on both the controller halves. Because if you look at it, one of them on the left-hand side has the stick way up at the top, and then the other one on the right-hand side has the stick kind of down towards the middle. And I kind of, that looks kind of awkward until I realized that if you turn both those halves on their side, suddenly you have two identical sort of mini controllers, almost like mini NES controllers, so that each person has basically the same button layout. Which I was like, oh, that's really interesting. That's really cool. A controller did appear that looks similar to the Wii U Pro controller, so it looks like there are going to be dedicated quote-unquote pro controllers manufactured for this console, so people who like a more traditional controller experience at home are going to be able to get that. But the video basically followed this guy as he started playing the console at home, and then he took it out, his dog needed to go out, so he took the controllers out of the controller dock, slotted them into the console, and then took it out, with his dog. Then he took it on an airplane, and it showed basically all the different a bunch of different places where this could be used. One of the ones was you could slot it into, say, a dock for use in the backseat of your car. So I guess if parents want to put one in their car to keep their kids happy on those long road trips. Although, if you watch the video and you watch the scene where they're playing the Switch in the van, this is going to sound really fucking weird, but the African American gentleman with the flat top haircut, I don't think that haircut has been in style since the 1980s. So that was kind of I was like, it looked like this guy just fell out of In Living Color. But that's neither here nor there. So like I said, I'm really interested to see what kind of things that they do with this. Now, there are a couple of things that I am kind of curious about, one of which is just how powerful this thing is going to be. It's no secret that we're kind of into an age where console power matters a great deal. And the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 are both very powerful machines, so I'm wondering how the Switch is going to stack up to those machines. We've only seen really, I think, 3 games in the video that I can recall that are ostensibly going to be released on the Switch, and that's Zelda Breath of the Wild, which, we all knew was going to be there, Skyrim, which I don't know if that's going to be the vanilla version, the remaster, more than likely the remaster, but, we'll see, and Splatoon. And then there was a Mario video shown off and a Mario Kart for brief moments. So we have some idea of what maybe some of the launch titles might be, but nothing really definite. I'll tell you one thing that kept flashing through my head as I was watching this video, and I was like, okay, this is a device with the power of a home console that can be taken portably, and it's shown that it can, or at least it's said that it's going to be able to give off graphics of, if not this current console generation, then at least the one previous. Pokemon is going to look fucking awesome on this thing. I've said for years that a Pokemon game with the power of a home console behind it would be just the best way to take the best direction to take the franchise. And a great way to break new ground with the Pokemon franchise. And I think that we might actually see that happen. Maybe Nintendo might even go whole hog and release a Pokemon MMO for the Switch. How kick-ass would that be? But even just a basic Pokemon game on a Nintendo Switch. I mean, think about how much they could expand the scope of the game. We could be seeing games with multiple regions, which we haven't seen since Heart Gold or Soul Silver, and I think 2007, 2008, I think was when that game came out. We could be, imagine a Pokemon game where we could revisit all the regions from all the previous games. It'd be a really great way to expand the franchise and take it in a new direction. At the very least, make it, give us more, Us Pokénauts, we want more. Give it to us. So that's that. Multiplayer, there were scenes in the video that sort of hinted that that multiplayer is going to be handled in 2 ways. It looks like it's going to have both local multiplayer, running off of one console, but that the console is also going to be able to link up to other consoles, similar to how the 3DS does with its own internal Wi-Fi signal. So I'm thinking that we're going to see something like that, maybe sort of a Switch Street Pass, which I'd be interested to see what kind of things they do with that. Let's see, other things that I'm kind of curious about. Battery life. I want to, I'd like to know what kind of battery life this is going to get. We're approaching it. We're in an age now where battery power is, it's certainly much more powerful than it was when I was a kid. I'm old enough to remember when the Game Gear would chew through 6 AA batteries in the course of 3 hours. But we're talking about a console that's going to be very powerful compared to, say, a 3DS or a DS, and that's going to require a lot of power behind it, a lot of electrical power. So I'm wondering what the battery life is going to be like. That's one of the things that I can see as being the pitfall of this console, at least as far as the portability goes, and that's if they can't give it a decent battery life for its size and power. Because one of the things in the video was this guy takes it on a plane and he's playing games on an airplane. I don't know if any of you have ever been into an airport recently. But, a lot of times, just because you're on the plane doesn't mean you're taking off immediately. You're going to be sitting there a while. So, that's just me still being bitter about the whole Delta Airlines clusterfuck from a few weeks back. So, but it'll be interesting. I want to know how they're going to solve the battery life issue. Another thing that I'm really curious about is the dock itself that the console is going to slot into to feed the video to your television. I'm wondering if that's going to be just a straight video relay device, or if that's going to have some extra computer hardware in itself to kind of bolster the power. Maybe like when you're playing it at home on the dock, you get like a better picture, you get a better graphics because there's like an extra processor or something in the dock. Or maybe if, they decide to go with backwards compatibility with the Wii U, that maybe there'll be a disk drive and some hardware in there. So that'll be interesting to see. I definitely do see a lot of potential as far as expanding capabilities beyond just as a game machine. I think that with the way they've designed this console, I think it'd be really foolish of Nintendo not to cozy up even more with services like Netflix and Hulu than they have. So we're probably going to see those services and maybe a few new ones come to the Switch. I keep wanting to call it the Wii U. Coming to the Switch. So I think we're probably also going to see them start courting maybe Amazon Prime to get the Amazon videos. So we'll see how that goes. The other thing I'm really curious about is what sort of games are in the pipes. We've known for a while that Zelda was going to be coming out. The new Zelda was going to be coming out for Nintendo's new console. They showed Skyrim in the video, so I guess we can also assume that that's going to be coming as well. Of course, new Mario Kart, that was also hinted at. Splatoon, I'm not sure if that was just a demo of the Wii U version that they just used for the video, if there's a new Splatoon coming out for the Switch. So we'll see how that goes. But what sort of games are in the pipe? So, we'll see. And that sort of leads me to something else that I'd really like to see, and that is I'd really like to see Nintendo make an effort to patch things up with the various third-party developers, because that was something that really shot them in the foot with both the Wii and the Wii U, was that they just didn't have a lot of great third-party support. I'm looking through my Wii U library right now, and I don't have a single game except for Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2 that weren't... Oh, and Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. So 2 games... I'm counting Bayonetta as one because it came in a bundle. So 2 games out of the dozen that I own that aren't first-party Nintendo titles. So I really like to see Nintendo sort of patch things up with the various third-party developers to basically just get some support. That's what they really need right now. Is they need that third-party support. An exclusive, console exclusives are great, but you got to also get some of the multi-platform stuff on there too. And I really think that Nintendo needs to start pushing hard to court the third-party developers. Given that this is a more traditional console in terms of gameplay style than the Wii or the Wii U, which both had kind of, by their nature, had strange gimmicks that were kind of difficult to develop for, I think we're going to see that. I think we're going to see more third-party developers coming back to Nintendo and having an easier time of making games for their system. I'd like to see if they're going to do any kind of cross connection with the 3DS, or if they're going to be, or if they're going to be, how this is going to affect their share in the handheld market. Because the 3DS is still, it's still selling like hotcakes. Everyone I know fucking owns one, and the people I know who don't have one fucking want one. So it's still a huge in-demand console, and that's kind of been Nintendo's lifeblood for the last few years, is their stake in the handheld market. So I'm curious to see how this is going to affect their handheld section of the company going forward. But if there's one thing that Nintendo has shown, say what you will about the Wii or the Wii U, like it or love them or hate them, you got to admit Nintendo has always shown a willingness to experiment and take things in a new direction. And I think that with the Switch, they found a direction that other people can sort of follow them on, because that's really sort of been the Achilles heel of the Wii and the Wii U, was like they were kind of, off in the bushes with a machete trying to forge a new path, and everyone's kind of looking like, no, we don't know, where are you going? What are you doing here? So I'm thinking that it's going to be a much easier time with the Switch to get people to kind of see their train of thought and how they're doing things. So yeah, those are pretty much my thoughts on the Switch. So I guess other things I'd like to see. Of course, I'd love to see a new Metroid title. That an actual Metroid title, not like Federation Force, which was dumb as hell. So yeah, that's Pokemon MMO. Love to see that. And I'm interested to see what is going to happen with this. And the console's pretty much finished at this point. The video announced that it was going to be released in March of 2017. So, barring any monumental screw up, it sounds like this console is pretty much ready to go, and they're just waiting for the games to go out. So the last thing that we really need to see or hear is, what are the launch titles going to be? We can confirm Zelda, we can assume Skyrim, we can assume a Mario, we can assume a Mario Kart. What else is going to be out there? So yeah, sound off in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts on this are. I'd be interested to hear what you got. And yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on this, and I'll maybe I'll make another one of these if there's more developments. To answer another question that I've gotten rather frequently in my inbox, yes, I'm really excited about Red Dead Redemption 2. Still bummed that we're not getting a PC port, but hey, maybe this is what it'll take to finally get me to buy a PS4. So, but anyway, so yeah, that's about all that I have for today. Again, sorry that we've been kind of radio silent for the last few weeks. It's just things have been kind of chaotic, and we're trying to come up with some new stuff to do for you guys. So yeah, that's about all that I have for this, fireside chat. So I will see you guys when we come back, and, thank you as always for tuning in and for sticking with us. So, I'm Dr. Gonzo, and, peace out.